How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode here on Let's Build Twitter. As always, I'm Ethan, or Unknown Coder, your favorite underqualified senior software engineer. And as always, if you guys do want access to a private repository, there's a link in the description down below that'll walk you through exactly how to gain access to that. Now, that being said, let's go and hop into what we're working on today. Today, we're going to go ahead and wrap up working on our following and followers page. Specifically, we're going to go ahead and make a pop-up that whenever you click on this, it shows information. Now, these pop-ups is only going to go ahead and show up inside the followers, but that is how Twitter works. And then after we go ahead and finish up that pop-up, as long as we have time, we're going to go ahead and hop into the backend, start working on some stuff to go ahead and allow us to update our user's profile, and then see how far we can get on the front end as well after that. So that being said, let's go and hop into the code and get to work here. So inside of our front end, we need to go ahead and open up our Explorer. We need to go into our profile components, and then let's go ahead and create a profile, and then follow card popup, and then this will be slash profile follow card popup.tsx, and then let's go ahead and make a profile popup card. Whoops, this is profile follow card popup.css. Let's go ahead and hop into the TSX really quick. Let's go ahead and import React from React, and then let's also go ahead and import our // and then this one is profile follow and card popup.css. Let's go ahead and set up an export const, and then profile follow card popup. This will be a react.fc. So taking some props that we'll set up in a second, equal to this, and then we'll go ahead and return and a div, the class name equal to profile dash, and actually, no, that's fine. We'll just set this up for now. I'm not going to go ahead and put a class name because the class name is going to be complicated. Let's go ahead and make our interface, and this will be profile follow card popup props. Inside of our interface, we'll have a username, which is a string. Whoops. Maybe we're going to go ahead and have flip direction. If we don't have enough space on the bottom or top, we'll flip it, and then we'll have a handle close. It'll be an e-react.mouse event on an HTML, and then this will be a div element, right? And then this will be void, so we can go ahead and close out of this. We'll use our thing that we have, our hook. And then here, let's go and pass in our profile follow card popup props, and then we'll break it apart. So for our username, we'll have our flip direction, and we'll have our handle close. So there we go. Let's go ahead and set this up. So we need to go ahead and have a const and then pop up ref. And then here, this is going to equal to use ref on an HTML div element. And then this will start out as null. And then we're also going to go ahead and use click outside. And then here, we're going to go ahead and pass in that pop up ref and our handle close. So that's how we're going to go ahead and get rid of this guy. So now let's go ahead and do our class name in here. And the reason I was saving this is because it's kind of ugly. So we're going to have profile and then dash follow dash card dash popup. But then we're going to have to do $ curly brace. Oops, that's not $, curly braces, flip, and then direction, question mark. If that's the case, we'll go ahead and set up something here. So here we'll say profile dash follow dash card, and then dash popup dash bottom, and then here we'll have profile dash follow dash card dash popup, and then here we'll say top. So that is our class there. And then here we'll have a div, the class name equal to profile maybe dash follow dash card popup dash group, and this we're going to go ahead and reuse multiple times, so it shouldn't be too bad. We're going to have file upload from material UI as x equal to height will equal to 18 px, our width will equal to 18 if I could type px, and then we're not going to have a color. We're going to go ahead and say share and profile via ... And then what we can go ahead and do is we can copy paste this group a few times. So let's go ahead and grab this group, and it should stop complaining eventually, I would imagine. I think I closed everything properly. Let's go ahead and space CA. Yeah, it should stop complaining at some point. So let's go ahead and get rid of the file upload. We no longer need this guy. So here, whoops, let me go ahead and fix that. There we go. And then here, we're going to go ahead and have our mute SVG. And here, we're going to go ahead and have height equal to 18. Our width will equal to 18. And then we're just going to go ahead and close that guy. It's going to say mute at curly braces and then username. Okay. And then we can go ahead and paste in again, except I need to go ahead and copy the entire div. So let's go ahead and copy this entire div again and paste it in. Okay, then we can go ahead and get rid of this mute SVG. Let's go ahead and get rid of that guy. And then in here, now we're going to go ahead and have remove follower SVG. And then height will equal, once again, to 18. Our width will equal to 18. And then in here, we're going to go ahead and say remove this follower. And then let's go ahead and copy this guy once again. And I'll fix that typo up there in a second. I see it now. Go ahead and paste it in again. Go ahead and do CF to go make it look pretty. Let's go and get rid of this extra I'm sorry. Next, after remove follower, it's going to be block follower. So let's go ahead and get rid of this guy again. And this is going to be block SVG. And then inside of block SVG, we'll have our height equal to 18. We'll have our width equal to 18. And we'll go ahead and close it. And then here, we'll go ahead and say block at and then username. And then finally, we're going to have one more of these. So this is a pretty simple one. Go and copy this once again, go and paste it in. And then here, let's go and get rid of block. And then here, we're going to go ahead and have report message SVG. And here we'll have a height equal to 18, of a width equal to 18. Go ahead and close this off. And then we'll go ahead and say report and then add username. So that's going to be the little pop-up that we have that shows up whenever you click on the more horizontal. So let's go ahead and style this guy up so we can throw it in there. First off, we'll go ahead and have our profile-follow-card-popup. And here we'll go ahead and have a width of 220 px. We'll have a height, a height of just fit-content. We'll go ahead and have a position of absolute, so we can put it exactly where we want it. So let's go ahead and fix that, absolute. And then we're going to say right of 0. We're going to have a border of 1 px solid, and this is going to be pound E1 E8 and then ED, our light gray color. We're going to have a border dash radius of about 12 px, and then we're going to have a box dash shadow of RGBA, and then 0, 0, 0, 0.2, and here we'll have 0 px, 5 px, and 15 px is kind of like our bog standard one that we've been using. A background dash color in here of white, and then we'll have a z dash index. And I should really go through all of our z indexes and make them all work together, but we'll do z index of 100. Next, we'll have dot profile dash follow dash card popup dash bottom. So if we want it on the bottom, this is going to be a bottom of 0. Then we'll have our dot profile dash follow dash card pop-up dash top, and here we'll have top of -1 px because that's what looks good. And now we have one more dot profile dash follow dash card pop-up dash group, and here we'll have width 100%. Maybe we'll have height of just fit dash content. We're going to go ahead and have a padding of 12 px 16 px because that's what looks good and that's what Twitter uses. Display of flex, didn't necessarily need this, but we wanted the gap, so justified content will be flex dash start. We'll go ahead and align items in the center, and we'll have a gap gap of 8 px, and a font dash size maybe of 15 px, and finally a font dash weight of 600. So that is our pop-up. Now all we need to go and do is throw this into the profile follow card. We do have to do a little bit of setup to get it working because we need to set up a ref and all that stuff and a use effect. But let's go and hop into a profile pop-up card, or profile follow card, I'm sorry, and get to work. So inside of a profile follow card, we're going to go ahead and go up here above the use effect and set up a couple things. So we're going to go ahead and set up a const display more ref is equal to use ref. And this will be an HTML div element and start out as null. We need to go ahead and import this, otherwise it's going to be mad at us. Let's go ahead and import use ref. There we go. Okay, and then we'll also go ahead and say const, and I'm just going to group all these together. Flip popup and set flip popup is equal to use state, and this will be a boolean, and we'll start it out as false. And finally, we'll have a const and then display popup, which I guess we set up last episode, and that's why I was confused because it wasn't actually grouped with this. But let's go ahead and move this down as well, since this is part of our popup code, and then we'll have it like all grouped together here. So that wasn't necessary. I just kind of wanted to group everything together, but looks good. Cool. So now we need a new use effect to do specifically this stuff. So use effect, and we're going to go ahead and watch, and this is going to watch the display more ref. And then in here we're going to go ahead and say if we have a display more ref and we have display more ref dot current. So if we have our ref set up, we're going to go and say const bottom is equal to display more ref, and then this is going to be dot current dot get, and then bounding client rectangle. And then here we're going to say const page bottom is going to be equal to window dot inner height. We've done this a few times at this point. We're going to say const distance to bottom is equal to page bottom, and then minus bottom. And then here we can go and say set flip popup, and we're going to go ahead and set this up, and this is going to say return distance to bottom less than or equal to 220. So if it's only 220 to the bottom, we'll go ahead and flip that. Cool. And then let's go down here. We should already have a display more somewhere. So display follow. Maybe we don't have a display more somewhere because I thought we had used it, but maybe I am incorrect. Oh yes, we do have a display more here. So display more. And then here, we need to go ahead and throw a pop-up ref on. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do one of these. So inside display more, we'll have ref equal to, and then this will be display more ref, like so. And then underneath our whatever this is, our more horizontal, we're going to go ahead and throw in. So now we'll have a display pop-up. I don't know where we were using display pop-up before, but it is what it is. And so now inside of here, we're going to go ahead and have our profile follow card pop-up, and we need to pass in username is equal to user.username. We need to pass in flip direction, and flip direction is going to go ahead and equal to flip pop-up. And then finally we need to go ahead and handle close, and then this is going to be handle close pop-up, which I guess we never actually set up. Let's go ahead and do that, and I guess it's not in our code either. Or actually I just skipped over it, so that's good. So we'll go above here, and we'll just go ahead and say const handle close popup, maybe like so, is equal to react.mouse event on an HTML div element like we expect. It's not going to return anything. It's going to e.stop propagation, and then we're going to go ahead and set display popup, and we'll go ahead and set that to false. So there we go. Now we can go ahead and come back down here to handle close pop-up, and handle close. I might want to actually set this up properly. Handle close will equal to, get our curly braces going, and there we have it. So now if we click on the more icon, it should go ahead and pop it up for us, and we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and hop in the front end and just take a look at what this is looking like. So now let's go ahead and give this a refresh. And now we can go ahead and hopefully click on this guy. You can see now I think this is supposed to have a hover effect, and I don't know if I just straight up missed it, and we need to figure out a better way to handle that. I think I just straight up missed it. I'm sure these are supposed to have like some sort of hover, or maybe not, I'm not sure, but let's just throw a hover on this to be safe, to make it kind of more cohesive with the rest. And it doesn't seem like our on click off is working for some reason, which is interesting. We need to look into what's going on with that. Let's just go ahead and pop up in here, handle close pop up. Let's make sure I close the right thing. So let's see here, set display pop-up to false. That is correct. We pass that down here to handle close. Let's go into profile pop-up card. I don't think we ever set the ref on here, so let's go ahead and throw the ref on this. That's probably what's doing it. So let's go ahead and come over here, and we'll go ahead and say ref is equal to popup ref. So that's good. And let's go into the CSS and set up a hover really quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down here. I don't know if it actually needs a hover, but it is what it is. Card popup group colon hover. And we'll just do a cursor pointer and a background dash color of like RGBA 0,0,0 0.1 or something, or 0.2. We'll see how this looks. Hop in here again. I think that's why we did it that way, because there's an overflow. Let's go if we can say overflow hidden and see if that works. We might have to throw overflow hidden on the pop-up card. Okay, let's try to throw overflow hidden on the pop-up card really quick, see if that helps. So we'll come up here, throw an overflow hidden on this guy, like so. See if that works. There we go, looks better. Now we can click off of it. Perfect. So that is everything working. So that's everything I want to do for this page. So now all we have left inside of our profile for the most part is just going to be able to click this edit profile. Before we can do that, we need to make some modifications to the backend to actually be able to update everything we want in the profile, and then also do some stuff inside of our slice. So I'm not sure we're going to get to actually editing the profile today, but let's just see what we get to. So let's go ahead and hop into the backend and get that work done. Now that we're in our backend, we need to go ahead and make a new DTO. So I'm going to say space JC for new class, and this is going to go ahead and go into our DTO, and this is going to be update profile request, whoops, like so. And then let's go ahead and enter. So now we're going to go ahead and set up a few things. So here we're going to have a private integer and then user ID. We have a private and string nickname. Whoops, we're going to have a private string, maybe private string bio. We're going to have a private string and then location, well, private, whoops, string and then website URL. So these are like the things that are easily accessible to change inside of Twitter. So that's why these are what we're changing. I know there's other ways to change like a username and stuff. I just don't know how to get to them on the website, so I'm not going to implement them. So let's go ahead and CA to go ahead and generate our constructors. So we'll go ahead and generate a constructor with everything for the heck of it. And we'll go ahead and generate a constructor with nothing, which I should have done first, but it is what it is. Go ahead and generate a constructor with nothing. There we go. Looks good. Go ahead and clean this up a little bit. Sometimes the spacing works, sometimes it doesn't. And then finally, we'll go ahead and set up getters and setters. And then we'll also set up a toString for the heck of it, just in case we end up wanting to print this at some point and I went too far. I wonder if I can press 6 to exclude. Perfect. There we go. Cool. So that is good to go. Go ahead and save that up and we should be good. So now let's go ahead and go into the user service and add a method to actually update the user profile. So inside the user service, I don't believe, it's kind of crazy we don't have a just straight up update user, which we do. I think we just need to update it. So right now we're taking in an entire user, which we don't want to update the entire user. We don't want to send over the entire user. It's kind of a pain. So that's why we went ahead and made the update profile request. I don't know if I actually named it that or not. We'll find out in a second. Go ahead and call that body, and let's see if we can go and import this. I did not call it that. Change to update profile request. Oh, I just added an extra D. That's fine. Cool. So now we're going to do the same exact thing. I don't know if we need a try catch exception because we can't change the email. So that's fine. We're going to go ahead and say application user is user repo.find by ID, find by ID, like so. And this is going to have body dot and then get user ID and then or else throw. And we'll go ahead and throw a user does not exist exception : new. So go ahead and fetch that user. Go ahead and say user dot set nickname, maybe user dot set. I don't know why nickname wasn't showing up, but there we go. We go ahead and say body dot get and then nickname. Cool. We'll say user dot set and then bio. Here it'll be body dot bio or body dot get bio. Cool. We'll say user dot set location is next. We'll say body dot get location, and then finally we'll say user dot set and then website URL. This will be body dot get website URL. We could have used a record here or something, or even just use public properties, but it is what it is. Now we're going to go and return user repo dot save. I'll go ahead and update that user. and that is good to go. Let's make sure we put an equal sign here. That way that works. Now it's going to be mad at us because we need to update our user controller to actually take that in. So let's hop into our user controller. So now whenever we update the user, so let's find our put mapping for updates. So here, now this is going to not take in an application user anymore. This is going to go ahead and take in an update profile request. So update profile request. And we'll just go ahead and call this body again, and then we're going to go ahead and pass in a body there. So that looks good to go. And now that is everything we need to go ahead and do inside of here. I don't know why it's mad at us. Whoops. Let's see where this is mad at. So update phone, shoot. Okay. I don't know how this didn't pop up before. So let's go back into our user service and I guess set up something new. So I don't know how this wasn't an issue before. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to make a new public application user update user profile, and we're going to go ahead and take an update profile request body, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to undo what we had in here, which was just like a try catch, I believe. And then let's go ahead and do this and WA, and let me grab the code that was in here really quick. So this is what I wanted to do from the first place anyway. I must have updated it in my code wrong. Let's go ahead and get rid of this really quick, and we'll go ahead and paste in our old code. Whoops. And I'm going to have to do this in a different order. Let me delete this first, and then I'll go ahead and copy the old code. So this is what I want to do from the first place. I just copied it wrong into my notes. Okay, go ahead and CF that, get rid of this, go ahead and pass in a user again, like so. So this will be application user, application user. Sorry for the confusion here. Okay, let's go back to the auth controller, and this should be fine now in the auth controller. Now let's go back into the user controller. Inside the user controller, I don't know if we straight up made a whole new thing here. Let me see. No. Okay, so in here, we're going to go ahead and this is fine, except instead of update user, we're going to update user profile with that body, save it. And now invalid message, a bunch of stuff is just broken for no reason. This might be because of my, whatever it's called, language server. Let's see. If it starts up, my language server is just acting up, and I'm just going to ignore it because we're done working on the Java for now. Okay, it's running. That's good to go. So I just need to make a new method there instead of the other way around. So that is fine. We should have plenty of time here. Let's go ahead and wrap up working inside the front end and at least get our slice all finished up. And then next episode, we'll come back and start working on the modal to actually be able to edit our profile. So let's hop into our profile slice. And inside of our profile slice, let's start out by setting up a couple of interfaces here. So below here, we'll go ahead and have an interface, and this will go ahead and be update profile user payload. And inside here, we'll have a property of string, and we'll have a value of string. We're also going to have an interface and save updated profile and payload. And in here, we'll have user ID will be a number. We'll go ahead and have nickname, which will be a string. We'll have bio, maybe bio, which is a string. I cannot type now all of a sudden. We'll have location, a string. We will have a website URL, which is a string. And then finally we'll have our token, which is a string. Okay, so let's go ahead and update and create like all of our async thunks and all that stuff. So below our fetch profile post, this one should be relatively simple. So we're going to have an export const, and this is going to be save user profile changes is equal to create async thunk. And inside of our async thunk, we'll go ahead and have profile slash update. And then we're also going to go ahead and have async. And in here, we'll go ahead and take in a payload, which will be of type save updated profile payload, and we'll have our thunk API. Let's go and create our arrow function. I'm going to say let body equal to, and we need to go ahead and say user ID is going to be payload.user ID. We'll have our nickname, which is payload.user ID. We'll have our bio, which is payload .bio. We probably could have extracted the token from the thunk API, but it's kind of a pain, so that's why I did it this way. Location will be payload.location, and then finally we'll have website URL, website URL, and this is going to be payload.website URL. So there is our request body. Let's go ahead and set up our try catch. So try and catch an exception E, and we'll return thunk API dot reject with value and pass that E down. So it looks good. And then inside the try, we'll go ahead and say let res equal to await Axios dot put, and then here it's going to be http:// localhost 8000 maybe 8000/user/profile, and then we're going to go ahead and have our body, and then we need to go ahead and set up our headers. So headers, and inside of our headers, let's go ahead and clean this. Well, I missed. Clean that. We'll have our authorization, and we'll have backticks bearer, maybe bearer, and then $sign curly brace token. So there is that, and this will actually be payload.token, and then here we'll just go ahead and return res.data, and we'll go ahead and update that user that we set up. And then now let's go ahead and come down into our reducers. We need to set up a new reducer here. So we're going to go ahead and set up an update, and then edit profile, and this is going to be a state, and action.payload. Action is a payload. Action. There we go. And this will be update profile and user payload, like so. I don't know what I broke. It's because state, I put a colon. There we go. Cool. And then here, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to say state is equal to ... state. Then we're going to have our edit profile, and then inside of edit profile, we're going to say ... edit profile, and then we're going to have our square brackets action.payload.property, and then this will go ahead and be action.payload.value. So that's going to be how we easily set this up, and this should probably be state.edit payload, and I think I added an extra D again, update profile. Cool. And then we go ahead and return the state. So then we can actually update the profile without breaking anything. And then let's go ahead and come down to the last pending. So here we'll say builder.add case, and this is going to be for save. If I could type save user profile changes dot pending, and then here we'll have a state and an action. Inside this, we'll go ahead and say state is equal to, and then ... state. We'll go ahead and set up loading user to true because we're technically loading up some information, error as false, and then we'll go ahead and return state. It's coming down to fulfilled. So down to the last fulfilled, we'll say builder.add case, and we'll have our save profile user profile changes dot fulfilled. We'll have our action and state and action. There we go. And then in here, we're just going to go ahead and set up some stuff. So we're going to say if we don't have a state.user, state.profile user, then we'll go ahead and return the state. We won't try to mess with it. Otherwise, so the state equal to, and then we'll say ... state. And we have some stuff to set up here. So loading user will now be false. False, like so. We'll have our profile user is equal to ... state.profile user, and then we'll also have nickname will be equal to action.payload.nickname. We also probably could have broken apart the payload and been fine, but it is what it is. Bio is equal to action.payload.bio. Okay, after bio we have location, which will be action.payload .location. Can't type. And then we'll have website URL, the action.payload.website URL. Then we need to update edit profile. So edit profile. We probably should have done like a default state here, but it is what it is. No, actually we do want updated, so never mind. Nickname will be action.payload.nickname. We'll have our bio, which will be action.payload.bio. Can't type. And location will be action.payload. Location. And finally, website, site URL will be action.payload.website URL. There we go. And then we need to go ahead and return our state. That way when I come back and record this tomorrow, I'm not wondering what the heck is going on. And then let's go ahead and come down here. We'll come down to our rejected, and below this last one, builder.add case. And this is going to be for our save user profile changes .rejected. And we'll go ahead and have our state in action. And then here, we're just going to go ahead and say state is equal to ... state. We'll have our loading user set to false. We'll go ahead and error to true. We'll go ahead and return our state. And now we just need to go ahead and say update edit profile in there. And we are good to go. So that is where we're going to go ahead and wrap it up this episode. It's been a little bit of a longer one recording time wise. I don't know how long it's going to be whenever we get through all of the editing and everything. But next episode, we'll go through, set up the modal to start actually editing our profile and kind of see where we get from there. So if you guys did enjoy, please like, comment, and subscribe. Everything helps out here with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to see where we started from absolute scratch to get to the point we are now, there's a playlist in the end cards coming up right now. So with that being said, y'all, hope you have a great day. This has been Ethan the Coder, and I'll see you all in the next video.